Hey, this is Brother Jeff, and I'm going to walk you through how to get started with the new eLearning Brothers Explorer Challenge storyline game. But before we get into actually building it, I'm just going to walk you through how the learner will interact with it inside of a course. If you navigate to the activities and then articulate storyline is where you can find this template. And you can see at the very first, it gives us an introduction with the introduction page and a continue button. And then it gives us some instructions for the game, as well as allows us to pick an avatar that we want to use for the game. I'm going to go ahead and pick one of these avatars. And you'll notice our question and our question text, as well as 4 possible choices for this answer. Now, all I have to do is select one of those answers. If it's incorrect, it will tell me the feedback and then allow me to try it again. Or if it's correct, it'll tell me the correct feedback, and then I can continue on to the next question. But before I go on to the next question, it actually gives me a map of my avatar and shows me the progress of this map or this explorer as I go through here. So if I hit continue, I just go on through the next questions and possible answers, and after each question I see that map so I can see my progress as I continue. So that's how the learner will interact with it. Let's go ahead and go into Storyline and show you how to build it. If you've downloaded it from the library, all you have to do is double click on it, and what will happen is it will import it into your templates inside of Storyline, and that way you can just select it from the drop-down box and use it inside of your course and any course that you want to create. Now, once I have this Explorer template selected, I just go ahead and hit import. And that will import the template and all of the different variables that it needs inside of my course so I can start editing it once it's available inside, or once it's done importing. Once it's been imported, you'll notice over on the left-hand side we have different instructions, and usually this is helpful because it'll let us know what variables we can change inside of Storyline for this to function properly. Or to adjust different settings inside of here. Now you'll notice in this one we only have really one variable, and that's the Explorer number of questions. And that allows us to change the number of questions that's going to be asked. You can see that if I scroll over in my layers, I can ask up to 20 questions. But if I change that to something else, let's go to the variables by clicking on the X on the right hand side. And the default again value for this Explorer number of questions is 20, but if I change that to 5, then it's only going to ask 5 of those 20 questions, and so you don't have to fill out all 20 questions. Now, just like it says in the instructions, anything that starts with the letter Z, any variable that starts with the letter Z is one that we don't recommend that you change. If you change, you may run into some issues with this game functioning properly. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel, and now I can go in and start filling out the different parts of my game. Now, if I wanted to change out the logo, if I wanted to change out the background, I can do that here. Or I can come down and work my way from the bottom up in my layers and change out the instruction text. I can insert more images if I go into insert and import more images. Or I can go into my question 1, and this is where I can change my question header as well as my question text. Let me scroll this over a little bit. And then I can change out the possible answers, and all I have to do is type in whatever text I want here. Now, if I decide that option C is not going to be the correct answer, I just come over to my triggers and I select where it says show layer, select the drop down box where it says question 1-correct, and change that to question 1-incorrect. That way, if the learner selects this, it's actually going to the incorrect feedback instead of the correct feedback. But that means I have to change whatever is going to be correct to correct. And so I'm going to select option 1 here, go to where it says show layers, select the drop down box, and change it from question 1 incorrect and to question 1 correct. And now this option is going to be the correct option when the learner selects on it, and it will take them to the correct feedback. Now all we have to do is change the feedback. So I'm going to come over to the layer that says question 1-correct, and I can come over and change the correct header as well as the response text here. And this allows me to also insert whatever images or even reposition different objects here as well. And then I come into my question 1 incorrect and do the same thing here. Type out whatever the incorrect feedback is, and then go up to my game correct section. This is the map that I can come in and I can change out the avatars, but keep in mind if you change out an avatar, each avatar, just like in our other games, has different points that you would have to swap out the image for as well. So not only just one point, you would have to do that for every single possible question there. And then the last one is the results page. This allows you to insert whatever text you want, or objects or images. And this is what the learner is going to see when they come to the final or when they end the quiz. Now, there is a play again option. If you don't want that to show, all you have to do is move it off the stage. And as soon as you move it off the stage, when the learner sees this, they won't have that play again feedback button there for them to play it again or to reset everything and go back to the beginning. So that's how you get started with the Explorer Challenge storyline game from the eLearning Brothers template library.